Premier is here to service your heating and air system with service calls now reduced to just $29. Offer good during regular business hours right now. Call 478-300-2633. Premier Heating and Air, where financing is available for repairs. Take advantage of Premier's end-of-the-year closeout with up to $2,000 off new heating and AC systems while supplies last. Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company. Log on to dublin.premierishere.com or call us at 478-300-2633.
Welcome everybody. I'm glad to have with me my dear friend, Mary Beth Turner, and you are in the middle of St. Patrick's.
Yes, we are.
60 years. That's incredible that, well, I've been here longer than the festival. You're a lot younger than I am. So what do you think about that? 60 years in the making.
I think it is an amazing testimony to our community and our community volunteers. We wouldn't have a festival if it weren't for all of the volunteers that it takes to put on the festival. But I think it is definitely a testimony to our community and how community involved people are here.
Yeah. You know, just up the road, Cherry Blossom, they have a lot of paid people that run that. But that's one good thing about us, and I think that's why it's made it all these years, is, you know, we buy in on it. It's a part of who we are, St. Patrick's. But 60 years, I can't imagine Dick Killebrew and Miss Everly and Mr. W.H. Champion and them even could imagine what they had started.
What it's grown into, I imagine them looking down on us and just beaming, you know, with pride. Because, you know, it started as a very small thing, and it has blossomed to over 40 family-friendly events that take place from mid-February through the end of March. So, you know, the committee itself is made up of all volunteers. We have no paid staff. We've got bankers, an attorney. I work at a hotel. We've just got, you know, hospital, you know, so everybody or every aspect of our community is involved with this.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a hard question. What's the first St. Patrick's when you were young, do you remember?
I remember the parade, but now I also remember my brother was in, if I'm not mistaken, the leprechaun contest. So that's probably the first thing I remember. But now my favorite was the pancake supper. Has always been the pancake supper. Still is the pancake supper. But I remember going and, you know, standing in line in front of the old Dublin Middle School cafeteria and, you know, seeing everybody and you know, the Exchange Club does such a fantastic job with that, and another group of volunteers.
Yeah. And they do a lot of work there, a lot of work. I was broadcasting out there last year, and nobody had ever done this to me, but I was talking to Roger Miller and some guys about how long it takes them to do it and figure out how to you know, learn through the years. And he said, here, just take a spatula. You do it. I mean, I can cook pancakes, but that thing's turning around, looks like 10 miles an hour. And they're flipping and getting them ready, and and all that money stays right here in the community.
Right.
That's what's good about it. Yeah, I remember as a small child, I was going to be in the parade, and Mama took me to Dunn's department store. You remember Mr. Dunn, and got me a green bow tie. And I'll tell you, I was talking to KB Lake yesterday, Matt Lake's daughter, who is doing the parade with me. And I told her, she did the Christmas parade. I said, there's nothing like the Christmas parade. Not taken away from it, but St. Patrick's, I said, it is 7, 8 deep all through the parade route. Just a river of green and kids' faces painted. And it's just everybody comes out. And you'll probably agree with this. I see people, pancake supper parade, that I hadn't seen since last year's pancake supper.
Or even in years.
Yeah.
You know? So friends come back, you know, because it is, you know, they grew up going to the festival, so it's a time that they come back to enjoy what's happening in their hometown.
Yeah.
So I see people I hadn't seen in years. But now the parade is, too, one of my favorite things, because you do, when you're on a float coming through downtown and you see all these people that have come into Dublin and Lawrence County, and then, you know, you follow it with the Arts and Crafts Festival and people just enjoying themselves, and then going on to Music and Munchies. It's just a day, you know, to celebrate everything wonderful about our community.
So what made you want to be a part of the festival and volunteer?
I actually joined the committee so I could paint the streets legally.
You heard that legally, like she's done it illegally. No comment.
No, I plead the fifth on that.
That is good, though. I always love that first, you know, last year they paved the streets. So there was no outline, there was nothing. You had to go in, and I don't know if you have stencil or...
We did have some that went ahead of us and stenciled it out, and then we went behind them and filled it in. So, yeah.
So tell us about Arts and Crafts. How's that going to work?
Arts and Crafts this year, it is still going to be Bicentennial Plaza and the Market on Madison. There will be a walkway from the plaza over to Market on Madison, and then it'll be some on the side streets. You know, change is a positive thing when a community is growing, and the city is doing some great things.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful.
It's going to be beautiful when they finish. You know, I can't wait to see the brick streets. You know, I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
So
follow the yellow brick road.
that's it.
And what a good place for it to be in Dublin. You see, like I do, we have a lot of visitors that come. And I always think about YKK bringing in people with their corporate office, and I always like to look when they first see those green grits. And even the people live here, I ain't eating no green grits. I said, they taste the same.
It's the same.
It's just food coloring. But you don't know any different. Of course, somebody that's not from the South, it don't matter what color they are, they're not going to eat them. But we do get a lot of visitors, don't we?
We do, and it's just a great way for us to market our community. I think it's great for other people that may be looking at coming to Dublin, maybe looking at opening a business here, or even, you know, a corporation looking to come in, you know. So it's just a great way for us to market Dublin and Lawrence County.
And I'm going to be talking to Patrick in a little while, but the Balloon Festival, we've changed it up this year, right?
Right. It will now be the weekend after Super Saturday. I believe it's 21st and 22nd. It's another event that does require a lot of volunteers. We are very blessed to have Adfor St. Gobain as presenting sponsor of that. They're, you know, relatively new to Dublin, but they have been great to be presenting sponsor for the last several years. I'm not exactly sure how many, but for them to get really, really involved, you know, in the community this way, because they come out and help, and
it's quite a commitment.
Yes.
Financially, everything.
Right.
And of course, Scott, he retired, and we'll be meeting her, Patrick and I, and the new lady. And I say new lady because I don't know her name.
Angie, I believe.
Angie. But they're carrying on the tradition.
Correct. Correct. They've been, you know, they were very pleased with it. I know the last few years it's been a little tough with the weather. That's one reason we bumped it back a week. Time change too, so, you know, skies will be blue a little bit later, and, you know, it'll just be a great time to come out and enjoy.
And that's something, if you got a bucket list at all, riding in a hot air balloon.
Have you done it?
Oh, yeah. You got to do it. Have you done it?
No.
I saw your look on your face. And, of course, my wife threatens me. You better not get in that thing. And, of course, I let the grandkids do the tethered, you know. But,
right.
But it is a lot of fun. You're talking about throwing caution to the wind.
I would be the one that would end up in the river. So that's why.
Well, you can swim, can't you?
I can, but water's still kind of cold, I think.
Ooh, yeah, it is cold. So Super Saturday's March 15th. We got a lot of other things in between now and then. We've got new Queen, St. Patrick's Queen. They changed it up a little this year. That's always say to that girl, I don't think they know what they're signing up for, because they literally have to be at everything, and they're young girls,
Right.
that have to do that. So, last thing, what would you say to people watching that's never been to the St. Patrick's Festival?
Come out, enjoy everything that is Dublin and Lawrence County. If you're looking for a way to get involved in your community, St. Patrick's Committee is always looking for volunteers. We couldn't do what we do without the community, and most especially our civic organizations, from the Exchange Club and Pilot Club and Rotary and Civitan, and and all of those are volunteers. So it is all volunteer driven. But it's just a great way to get to know people, especially if you're new to Dublin and Lawrence County. I can't think of a better way.
What we got here?
These are the official shirts for this year. It is our 60th Diamond Year anniversary, so 60 years tradition. So you can get these at any of the St. Patrick's Committee sponsored events. They'll have them the night of the pancake supper. They are available here at Classic Florist. So get you one and wear it Super Saturday.
Good looking shirt. I want to thank Allison and Kyle Williams that let us come in and set up in this beautiful, beautiful store here on Hillcrest Parkway. But you heard Mary Beth where to get them. Of course, Miss Ricks will have not only these, but all kind of. She has the coolest stuff, and they do a lot of business, I think.
Yes.
Sell a lot of stuff. So
Yes.
come out and get all dolled up. Get your stuff at the Pancake Supper. Would be a good place to get it. And that Saturday, we'll be having a parade and arts and crafts and all that kind of thing. Okay, y'all stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Midstate Pools and Spas carries an outstanding line of hot tubs. Adding a spa to your deck or patio is a great and affordable way to spice up your backyard area. Hydrotherapeutic reasons or pleasure, we can help you find the right spa that fits your needs. All our spas range from a seating capacity of 2 to upwards of 7 in our signature collection, and there's also different cabinet colors to choose from too, so that you can pick out the right color that best fits your area. There's several different add-ons that can be implemented to make your spa even more enjoyable. That's Midstate Pools and Spas, the ultimate hot tub experience.
Hello, my name is Paris Williams with Take It to Paris Home Care, your structured family caregiving provider. If you have a disabled loved one that's on Medicaid, did you know that you can get paid? Give us a call at 478-772-3044. We have some amazing team members that will be happy to help you and walk you through this process of getting paid to take care of your loved one. Again, my name is Paris Williams with Take It to Paris Home Care.
Green and growing. Farmers State Bank has been helping our community grow for more than 88 years. Relationship banking that values neighbors with quality services. From personal banking to business loans, whatever your banking needs, Lawrence County's leader in banking is Farmers State Bank. Banking is as easy as FSB, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
Hey, this is Perry down at Williamson's Bakery. We've been serving Dublin and Lawrence County for over 57 years. Come on down and let's celebrate St. Patrick's together. In 1965, a civic-minded group of people got together and created Dublin's St. Patrick's Festival. That same year, my grandfather, Merle Williamson, hung our name on this bakery. Ever since then, people have been stopping in for the Williamson's tradition. We invite you to do the same here at 1634 Veterans Boulevard, or catch us on Facebook, or just come get you some.
Welcome back, everybody. As promised, I have with me Perry Williamson, and we did the good part. We had the Mary Beth on the first part, so they stuck with us for the second part.
We're good.
So tell me, obviously you own Williamson Baker. Before we get into St. Patrick's,
Sure.
Share with our viewers. I know the history of Williamson Baker, but share with our viewers the history and what got you in it.
So I guess you could say a good history of Williamson's Bakery. You can't have Williamson's Bakery without having the two bakeries it was before. It started off, we're figuring around 1927 as Bluebird Bakery, and during World War II, a gentleman from Athens, Mr. Benson, found out that if he owned more bakeries, he could have more flour. So Mr. Benson went around and bought a bunch of independent bakeries that were around Georgia, and so he could do that. So it was Benson's Bakery for a long time. And my grandfather started working in it in 1948 after he got out of the service, and worked in it till 1965. So he was in there a long time beforehand, and then from 65 until 1997 he owned it. So it's Williamson's Bakery since then. And about the same year that the St. Patrick's Festival started in 65, he purchased it and put Williamson's on it. So it's had Williamson's on it a good long time. My history in it is as a kid, just growing up around my grandfather, and as a kid wanting to go work in the bakery, follow him around. And then in 2016, I purchased it from the Haskin family, and we've just kind of been going up since then. It's been a great revitalization of the bakery and kind of bringing it back to life, and it's always been going along, but it's stronger than ever now, so yeah, we're doing good.
I agree. So why was it important to you to get a Williamson back in there?
Well, I don't know if I was thinking about getting Williamson back in there, but I was actually on the road working for the last the 10 years before I purchased the bakery, and people didn't even know I lived in Dublin anymore. So I was out of town so much, and I said, you know what, I need to set my roots down. My roots were already kind of here, but set my roots down and kind of be a part of the community more often. And it was just my best opportunity to be more part of the Dublin Orange community, and that's what I wanted to do. So
yeah, I was talking to my daughter yesterday. When I take my grandkids in, the 3-year-old, first thing, it's like he's at Disney World. He'll go, "Oh my gosh!" You know, he sees.
Yeah, and they usually make a left over towards what they can see, the cupcakes right over there. They want to hit those cupcakes first. So.
Right. And of course, grandparents, we buy them for them.
Oh, all the time. That bench you see there, that's sitting out there in front of there now, it's the actual bench that was actually downtown, that was in front of them out downtown. And my grandfather built that to kind of keep the kids off the glass, but he said all it did was facilitate their fingerprints even more, and which made him even happier. So we brought that out of the back. We were using it for box storage, and I brought it out and put it out front, and I'll tell you what, people remembered it. They remembered it from their childhood, just a piece of wood. So it's great.
It is, and that leads us into how strong our community is.
Absolutely.
And you wanted to get back home so we can be a part of the solution.
Absolutely.
Whether we got problems, where the good things, we can catapult to a higher level. But so you give me half the answer, but tell me the rest once you got back, why it was important to really dive deep into it.
I really wanted to dive deep into it because I feel like at times that the bakery itself had lost a little bit of its luster because of some things that had to be changed because of necessity. Mm-hmm. While the people that owned it, the different sets of people that owned it, there was necessity for some things to change. And as I went back in, I could tell those changes, just going and getting donuts myself as a customer. And I just thought, getting a Williamson back into the bakery to breathe more life into it and get those things that my grandfather did, get them lined back up to the way he did them. And when I did that, it all just fell into place. It just worked out really well. I like being a part of the community. I like helping in the community. You know this. I've helped with City of Hope and done some things. And I rarely do I turn down a child for donations here and there and everything else. That's just my heart, I guess. But being a part of that, helping the community, I just couldn't imagine just sitting in my community and living off of it, where I can't be a part of it and help it grow and do better. That's where my heart is.
Yeah, and then this is your second year on the committee?
This is my second year. This year I'm president of the Order of the Shillelagh. Very excited about that. My co-chair and I, we're in charge of the gala this year, which is coming up soon, and super excited about it, to bring a little bit of that feel back into the St. Patrick's Festival.
Yeah. Well, you talked about getting back and working in the community. What made it to that next level? And you said, I want to be a part of St. Patrick's. It's the biggest thing of the year. I can really hear you thinking about it. So.
Well, yeah, and it was something I really had to pray about when I was asked. I really had to pray about because of my business, and when I don't think he just answered me at one time, but what he did show me, hey, you've worked very hard for these last 5 or 6 years ahead of this, that you put together a great team of employees, a family almost, that is going to watch after you after this. So go ahead and take this on. I just felt led that way. Like I said, my only reservation was my business. And the only reason I say my business is because not only is it supporting me and my wife, but it also supports 11 other families, not just people, 11 other families in the bakery that depend on a paycheck. So I had to really take that in consideration. And Lord said, it's all right. You can go help others. Yeah. You've taken care of this family. They're going to take care of you now. So that's really what was the deciding factor.
Well, it's biblical.
Absolutely.
We are to go out and, our mandate with the City of Hope, in Matthew 25, where it tells us, whatever you do to the least of these, my brothers, you do to me. And he's talking about the final judgment. So you better take it serious. Anything in the Word of God, you better take serious. But there's times where it's like it jumps off the page at you.
And sometimes he just kind of feeds you.
That's right.
Kind of feeds you to realize, hey, you're okay.
So what special do you do for St. Patrick's?
Super special. The whole month of March, we do our, I guess you could almost call them signature. I don't think there's anybody else.
No.
I mean, honestly, in the world that I know that are doing green yeast donut, shamrock donuts. And they're pretty special to us. It used to be our dip cookies, shamrock shaped dip cookies and things like that. But our shamrock donuts have really taken a forefront for March.
And not only that, I'm backing up a few weeks, but I was in a meeting somewhere. I think it was a meeting at the chamber or something. There was a group of us there, and we were all talking about Valentine's, what we're going to do for Valentine's. And one of the girls said, well, you can't get none from Williamson. They done sold out of everything. She said, I called today wanting to get so many dozen donuts. I said, well, if there's a way they'll make them, they make them, but you can only do so much.
Yeah, that's so true. And our guys, my donut crew, they come in at whenever we need them to. Like on the day before Valentine's, we were in there at 10 o'clock the night before just to get orders filled. And we did a little over, in that one day, we did a little over 480 dozen. And my math is around 5,700.
Wow.
Just counted donuts. So.
And it's going to be the same with St. Patrick's.
No, it's going to be a lot more with St. Patrick's.
Really?
Yes, sir. It's going to be a lot bigger with St. Patrick's because we do it the whole month, where that's just a single day that we do like a week or two ahead of time. We do shamrocks from March 1st on.
What's your favorite event?
My favorite event would be arts and crafts. Mm-hmm. Arts and crafts to me, because we get to see some people from other communities. Yep. We get to see our neighbors. We get to see people we haven't seen, just walking around, communicating with each other, and just socializing. And I would say that it's something I've always remembered as a kid growing up, getting the little rubber band guns and things like that with my dad. But there's lots of memories, I guess you could say, with St. Patrick's, with the Arts and Crafts Festival, especially when it was down at Stowe Park and stuff like that. It was.
Well, it's like a big family reunion to me.
It is.
That and the pancake supper, both. I see people that I hadn't seen since last year, and some I ain't seen. And I had a guy this past Sunday. He said, "James, we went to school together." I said, "Really? What's your name?" He tells me. Of course, I remembered him. I knew who he was, but. You know, I told him, I said, "Johnny, everybody's changed but me." He said, "James, you had long curly hair in school." I said, "Well, I missed that part, but yeah, it is good to see people, old friends that they're still our friends no matter how much distance apart."
And now that you mentioned it, the pancake supper is probably my number two, because it's the same situation. I mean, I'm a social person. I like to speak to people, and I like to meet new people, and I'm not afraid to. Hey, how you doing? And that's how, I mean, really, that's how Dublin is, really.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're never too busy to pass the time of day with somebody. No. And don't ever want to be that busy.
No, sir.
Well, y'all are looking at some shirts. This is the official shirt that you're looking at right now, the 60th annual. Isn't that crazy? 60 years. And before I talk about the T-shirt, what's the earliest growing up, you made me think up when you said that a minute ago, what's the earliest thing you remember as a child? How old do you think you were?
Whew. Like, I harken back to Stowe Park festivals and things like that. Probably 6.
Yeah.
As far as I can remember back. Well, I do remember... I remember 1976, to be honest with you, because that 1976, I was 6 years old, so that's probably my earliest memories. And like I said, the Stubbs Park, and Stubbs back then, to me, seeing the big creek, now, back then it was like, wow.
Yeah.
But that's one of the
through our
greatest.
little eyes, everything was bigger.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
You know that. So, when y'all looking at the T-shirts, you can come by Classic or any of the sponsored events for St. Patrick's. Of course, Miss Ricks, she's going to be about anywhere she can set up a table or two.
Oh, yeah, Miss Glenda.
Yeah, Miss Glenda Ricks. But you can buy them at the Pancake Supper, or you can come by Classic. We're broadcasting here at Classic now.
Which also, speaking of Pancake Supper, if you're looking for tickets, we have them available at the bakery. There's several other locations that are available, but we have them available at the bakery. So if you come get your Shamrock Donuts, you can pick up your Pancake Supper tickets as well.
You're just a jack of all trades, man.
I'm a proud exchangeite. I'm very happy to be a part of that group. Great group of guys. Actually, this will be my first Pancake Supper working with them. So.
Yeah, I got my first, I broadcast there every year, and Roger Miller handed me the spatula last year and put me to work on television. I said, I got to get this right. I got to, I can do pancakes at home, but when you got that thing spinning around, you got all these pancakes. But, and you mentioned exchange. Y'all come to these events, come to the Pancake Supper. It's about $10, and all those put our $10 together, and we raising money for the community.
Absolutely.
And 100% of the money that's raised, and there's tens of thousands raised, all the money stays in this community, don't it?
That's the great thing about our. Actually, it's a good thing about our. The greatest thing about I would say about our festival is, it's 100% volunteer, and I'm sure Mary Beth may have mentioned it, but it's 100% volunteer. There's no one paid to do any of this stuff that us business owners and just regular lay people out doing work for the community for this festival. Everything is volunteer, and I also urge anyone that would like to be involved in it to get in touch with us, whether it's volunteering for balloons or volunteering for Main Street Munchies, or volunteering want to be on the committee to help in the long run would be great.
Well, when I come in earlier to set up, Randy Stone come out, and I said, "You look so much more relaxed this year than last year." If you remember, he was the co-chair last year.
He's our outgoing.
But yeah, I said, "You're 1 year removed now, so it's just like he was a whole different person than he was last year."
Yeah, we still lean on he and Randy and Tammy, our co-chairs from last year. We still lean on them for advice and everything else. They still come to our meetings and are still involved as well.
Well, that's how it's worked for 60 years.
Yeah.
These volunteers you talk about, there's a chain of command, and you work in it, and eventually you're going to be in that co-chair spot. And you've learned all these years, not just throw it in the grease.
No.
It's not like the donuts you throw in there.
No, sir.
But anyway, y'all, let's get the T-shirts. When you come out to the parade, let's all have our T-shirts on. You can buy them early, take them to the other events. Anyway, you're looking at the shirts right now. Youth, extra large, and then 2X, 3X are $20 and $25. And then you're looking at the long sleeves right here. Youth to extra large is 30, and 2X and 3X are 35. So 60 years, you're going to want to get one of these T-shirts, because it's good every year, but we've been talking about this 60th year for about 3 or 4 years. Matter of fact, coming out of COVID, that we've got in our rearview mirror now.
Thank you.
But yes, but 60 years, it's incredible. I told Mary Beth a while ago that I was about 6 years old, I remember, because I was in the parade, and Mama took me to Dunn's department store to get me a green bow tie. And I will tell you this, I can tell you firsthand, the parade back then wasn't near what it is now, because it's big.
Yes.
It's big. So if you're watching us now, no matter where you're watching us, if you're in the state of Georgia, across the United States, come be a part of our 60th annual St. Patrick's Festival.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I don't mean to,
go right
but I
ahead.
do want to add this too for people that aren't here in our community. It is a very family-oriented thing or event that all the events are family-oriented.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and put that out there right now. All the events are family-oriented. If you're into that kind of thing, just having a good time with your kids and teenagers and things like that, it's a really great time. I mean, and if that's not your cup of tea, you might want to just keep on going down to Savannah,
That's right.
where they have a little bit bigger time. Well, we are family. You know, that's what our community and our festival is all about.
Well, Savannah, a lot of them you can't, like here, you can bring grandma, grandpa, the grandkids, everybody.
Absolutely.
And one of my things every year, before we start broadcasting the parade, I get all my grandkids around me, and I love seeing through the years how they grow every year. I think, oh my goodness, this is just incredible. And I was with Kaylee Haskins yesterday. She was Miss St. Patrick's. It was about 6.5 years ago, because my grandson's 7, but we were at the Munchies or something like that, and she wanted to hold him, and I took pictures of her, and I said, well, he's gonna love women from now on. Miss St. Patrick's gonna hold him when he wasn't even a year old. But me and Kaylee love looking at that picture and talking about it. But it is a family affair. Everybody can come together. It don't matter the Main Street Munchies, the parade, the arts and crafts, all this stuff. It's not people are having good times, but you don't have to worry about plenty of security. It's just a safe place to come and have a good time.
And speaking of security and stuff like that, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the support we get from the city of Dublin. Whether it's water, trash, security with the police. Josh Powell working with us on making sure streets get closed, or we have the available streets closed and things like that we need to get this whole thing done. The city of Dublin does a great job. Like I said, their water and sewer guys are great. They're always on top of it. They're there, always wanting to help. So a very big shout out and a thank you to the city of Dublin and those guys.
We did a day in the life of different jobs in town, and we did a day in the life of a sanitation worker. And I found out that morning, we got there about 5:30 in the morning. They had a meeting, then dispersed, and we went out with them. And I found out those people work hard making our city the beautiful downtown, and not just downtown, all throughout the city. And I found out about, most municipalities don't really care about customer service. They don't have to, because you got to have it or you don't. But I would watch, I'd ask Frankie Coney, I said, why are y'all going behind some of these houses? The rest of them are on the street. He said, well, that lady there, she had surgery, so we get in her track. That man there, he lost his wife and he can't get around good. I thought, man, that tells you what kind of city, what kind of community we live in.
And I can attest to that. That's exactly how they are. They're good-hearted people.
Okay, last question.
Sure.
Have you been in a balloon?
I have not been in a balloon. I would like to at some point. I'm not afraid of heights, so to speak. Even as I'm as big as I am, I think I need to be afraid of heights, but I'm not. I'm kind of one of those. But yeah, it would be something special to me. I'm an airplane person. I like being up in the air like that.
Same here.
So
Mary Beth, when I asked that question to her, she said, "No, I hadn't done it. I'd probably land in the river, my buckets." You know, I said, "Well, you can swim." So, but I had to ask you since I asked Mary Beth that question. But well, we got a balloon outside, so we're waiting.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kidding. But we'll keep up the good work. Thank you for what you do for our community.
Thank you.
And thank you, no matter how you're watching us today. We appreciate you tuning in.